All right, hello, Americans. This is Podcast versus World. My name is Cameron L. Abington, and we are here in the bunker in Kansas somewhere. First of all, I want to thank my newest sponsor, Doobie Energy Drink. Do the Doobie Doobie Do. All right. If you go to doobie.gg and use the code Podcast versus the World, you'll get 10% off. That's a good deal. It's a great deal. It's a great deal. They'll be our sponsor for a while. You'll see the ticker at the bottom. Okay. So don't forget that. All right. Let's start with off the top. Off the top. There's been a lot of debate lately about whether if you were to criticize Israel, are you against Jewish people? Are you a racist, anti Semite? You know, are you against Jewish people? It is okay to criticize Israel. Nobody's going after Jewish people. It ain't about that. People in America, the reason why you're hearing stuff like this right now, this is off the top, some off the top of my head. This first segment called Off the Top, sponsored by nobody. This whole show is sponsored by Doobie, do the Doobie Doobie Do. Um, the reason why you're hearing people really get on this is we just saw our country, now that we're kind of watching more, an Israeli super PAC paid our president and Republicans and Democrats alike, right? But because Republicans are in office, they're going to hold this one. And made us bomb somebody who, do we really know they were trying to make a bomb? According to all indications, they took their their material and got out of there. According to all indications. Now the Trump administration will tell you different, but that's not true. Okay? We have to tell the truth. But that's just one layer of what's going on right now. Just one layer. All right. The biggest layer that's going right now that's going to affect everyone's life is right now the Senate, they're debating the big beautiful bill. I just heard somewhere, I think it was Bernie Sanders, say that according to a Yale study, if this bill passes with all the things they take away, 50,000 people a year will die. I want you to let that number compute. So millionaires and billionaires can have more money in their pocket. And here's another thing that I didn't know. And this it's not funny, it's interesting. 20% of people in America, let me say this real loud, in America do not know that they are on Medicaid. Hold on, let me say that one more time. 20% of people do not know they are on Medicaid. You want to know why? Because it doesn't say Medicaid in the title. Pop a drink here. Diet Pepsi, not a sponsor, of course, not a sponsor. Can you believe that? 20% of people on Medicaid do not know that they are on Medicaid. So there's going to be a big awakening. I don't know, kind of a what the hell happened to my insurance type of day. When all these things and all the things the Republicans are doing, passing this bill, even the ones that said Hawley from Missouri, he actually voted for the bill, even though he said this is wrong. But because he could not stand up to President Trump and do his damn job, he is going to let people lose their health care and food stamps. And if you're over 7 years old, your food stamps are going to go down as a child in a family. Can you believe this? These people are so weak, weaklings, weaklings, and they're going to let us drown. They're going to let people drown, the working class. This is what's going on. The poor and the working class are getting kicked in the face because our representatives, our congressmen, our senators are so scared of Donald Trump, they can't stand up and say, no, 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 this isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. No, 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 we shouldn't be doing this. They can't even stand up. They can't even stand up for you. They're about the party over the country. They're not for you. If this bill passes, you're going to see a lot of MAGA people. I was going to do it. I've got an episode in mind. Well, I need to talk about. We'll probably do it maybe tomorrow or the next day. Um, but people are going to find out that they're not for you. MAGA isn't for you. Remember, President Trump said he decides what MAGA is. They are not for you. What did he promise? No foreign wars. Well, there goes that one in the trash. A better economy. Oops, there goes that one in the trash. Let's see here. I'm not going to touch Medicaid or America. Oops, there goes that in the trash. What does he follow through on? Oh, besides he deported all the Mexican people. But even though he didn't follow through on that also because he said it was just going to be the gangbangers, the bad ones. Things that they're picking up people that's never had done anything violent in their life and they're still picking them up. It's all full of crap. They're full of crap. Okay? Call your congressman. People, if you are getting insurance and you don't work a job, and it's from the government some sort, you are on Medicaid. Good God Almighty. There's so many MAGA people on Medicaid, it's crazy as hell. But they're all going to learn. They're all going to learn. All right, that is Off the Top, sponsored by nobody. But today's sponsor of the show is Doobie Energy Drink. DUBBY.GG. You see it at the bottom of the ticker down there. Do the Doobie Doobie Do. Great flavors, no sugar, doesn't give you letdown. It's an American made product, so let's support our American made products. We need more of them. Not enough of them. Not enough of them. So let's get into what I came to talk about tonight. The girls they forgot. So I'll tell you how I got into this story. I was reading my TikTok, and this guy was like, "There's 34 missing black and brown girls in Washington D.C." I was like, "Hold up, whoa, whoa, whoa. Really? I watch the news very faithfully. I haven't heard anything about this. I haven't heard anything, you know." And I was confused. But here's a real question: why did it take a viral tweet for us to even have this conversation? Something to think about. The claim that 34 girls vanished at once in DC is not factual. It didn't happen like that. But there's a story here. Why why so many people, especially in black communities, believe this so quickly because deep down we know something's broken in our system. See, we know legacy media. Well, let me just let's just cut through the chase. If there were 34 little blonde haired white girls, well, let's be honest, I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, but understand where I'm coming from. If there were 34 blonde haired, blue eyed white girls missing, that would be the biggest story on legacy media. Why is that? Why is that? The black and brown girls don't deserve the same coverage? They're people too. We do not we do not put them on the same level as white girls. At least the media doesn't. You see, black and brown children make up a disproportionate number of missing person cases in America. The people, they don't get coverage. They barely even get Amber Alerts or national campaigns while their white counterparts do. That's not me sitting here being racist. I'm just telling you there's a problem. But see, there's a something called missing white woman syndrome. That's the media's obsession with covering certain victims. And we know that to be true. Anytime you see a little white girl go missing, a white woman, they need to be covered just like everybody else. But they get disproportionate coverage. If a little black girl disappears, it's a footnote. For a little white girl, it's a headline. Why is that? Legacy media doesn't sit here and really, they don't really look at us the same. Our system doesn't value black life. I know that's going to turn some of you off. I try not to make this a racial thing. That's not a racial thing, it's the truth. I'm here to tell the truth. And let me say something else, that if it's a little rich kid, right, over a little poor kid, who do you think they're going to cover first? That's the truth. I mean, we can break this down. You want to break this down. It's all about the girls who go missing every day without a trace in the country that barely notices. Now, thank God for organizations like Missing, the Black and Missing Foundation. They've been screaming this truth for years, begging for somebody to listen. Well, I listened. I'm here. I'm here. Why? Why? I don't. This crazy part is we have all these black activists. Why? I never heard about this as a problem. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've sat here and thought of this. I'm like, oh, they'll never look for black kids like that as a joke. This isn't a joke. This is the truth. This is 1,000% the truth. There's no lying here. But we're not fighting. Where's all of our black activists? Where's Dr. Umar? I haven't heard him say anything about this. Has he said anything? Where you at? I want to hear more people speak out on this. Stephen A., where are you at? You want to talk about how you're not a Democrat or Republican and this and that and that and this? Why don't you talk about this? You have a bigger platform than any of us. Step up. Give me one day. Give me one day of your time to talk about this. Have you talked about this? I don't watch your show every day. So if you have, let me apologize. Dr. Umar, let me apologize. Uh, I would say Dr. Phil, but he's a trumper these days, so I don't think he gives a shit either. It is what it is. It is what it is. I did a podcast last week called If I Were the Devil 2025. Let me add to that. If I were the devil in 2025, I wouldn't need to kidnap 34 girls. I just need to convince America they weren't worth finding. And that's where we're at. We don't give a shit. If I wouldn't have brought up this topic, you probably never would have heard it. Let it sink into your thick skulls. So this is Podcast versus the World. And today, we're choosing not to look away. We're here to sit here and talk about this. Now, I don't know how you change people's opinion of looking for these young people. A life is a life is a life. That's how it should be. And I don't know how you convince people that black life is the same as a white life. Because, they all say that's fake. Black lives matter. That, yeah, I won't go into that. But do you understand what I'm saying? We have a press that ignores this. And nobody calls them out. You might hear comedians make a joke about it. And all jokes have a hint of truth to it. Always remember that. All jokes have a hint of truth. So here's the truth. They don't give two damns. Wrong skin color. And it's not that I'm trying to alienate people. There's so many big issues here. But this is the issue that needs to be talked about. It's not talked about enough. Let's have the conversation. Why is that? I might do a live after this. Just ask the question. Why is that? Why is that if there's a black girl missing and a white girl missing, that we'll jump onto the little white girl? Why is that? I'll give you another example. Let me give there was two white girls missing, a rich one and a poor one. Which one do you think they're gonna cover first? I've told everybody forever this is about rich versus poor. You're watching it play out in Washington D.C. as we speak. As we speak, you are watching our country step on the back of poor people to take care of the rich. We'll forget about the poor people and their problems. We'll take care of the rich. People, I'm telling you, you better start waking up. This problem with this black and brown girls going missing and nobody saying a damn word. How would you feel as a mother? You come home and you can't find your daughter. You go to the police. The police are doing what they can, but they always need the help of the news. But you're just the last story on the news. You should be the first story on there, but you're not. What kind of crap is that? But that's what they do to you. It's a shame. It is a shame. And there's a lot of things to talk about. This is such a deep, layered conversation. I just ain't got time to go into all of it. There's a lot to it. Or maybe it's not as deep as what I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's a reason for it. Maybe there's a reason. There probably isn't. It's just how we think of black folks and brown folks. Look at what they're doing now. They're trying to cleanse America. We have a president and his little chief elf trying to cleanse America. They're trying to tell us that if you're not born in America, I'm sorry. Even though the Constitution clearly states, but then as always, they're trying to say it was made for slaves. It wasn't made. Come on, man. Just read the damn paper. Just read it. Just read it. If it said it was just for slaves, then it should have said that. These young women, black and brown, it's a shame that they don't get the same coverage. You know, your little daughter goes missing, no press, no helicopters, just silence and heartbreak. It's a system that doesn't value black life or brown life the same way. And we need to start letting it be told that this is atrocity. It's wrong. It's wrong. Say it's okay to say it's wrong. It's crazy to me. If you say that something's wrong, oh, you must be a racist, or there's something wrong with you. You can't say that. Yes, you can. That is what podcasts like mine are here to do. I'm not a big time I don't have big numbers. We're working on it. Not there yet. We're working on it. Not quite there, but we're getting there. Podcasts like this, it is our job to sit here and talk about the stories that nobody's talking about. And that's okay. Somebody has to. Somebody has to not be afraid and say what needs to be said. And if I have to be that person, I will do that. I don't have a problem with that. Let me be the first one to say, this is wrong. Okay? What's going on in Washington, D.C. right now is wrong. Having your senators and congressmen not be able to stand up and do what's right for the country is wrong. Letting a president sit there and be a grifter is wrong. Having the Supreme Court not do their damn job and use their actual checks and balances is wrong. We have to keep having the conversations. If we don't, it'll never change. It'll never change. If you made this far, please like and share this podcast. We're trying to get our YouTube membership up. Before I can do a live, I gotta get above 50. We gotta get there. We gotta get everybody on here to start liking the podcast on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There's some really interesting podcasts on there. Listen to it. If you have any kind of suggestions, please let me know. You can make comments on the page or wherever you're watching it at. You can make a comment. If you rather email me personally, hey, you can do that also at podcast versus the world 76 at gmail.com. Um, we are sponsored today by Doobie Energy. Do the doobie doobie do. It is doobie.gg. All right. And if you use the code podcast versus the world, all separate, all right. It's not if you see the ticker at the bottom, you get 10% off your order. It's good stuff. No sugar, no energy lag. You get those energy drinks that give you a lag, knock you on your butt. This won't do that. And it's American made. So let's let's back our American companies as much as we can. I'll be showing you. I don't have my shaker around me. I'd show you guys, but we'll get that going here soon. All right. We're not going to be quiet anymore. We can't be. made this far, please look for me on um, TikTok. I'm trying to get to 5,000. The goal is to get to 10, but let's get to five first, and we'll build from there. We do lives. We're gonna change the times of the live. Probably Saturdays. Probably going from Saturdays from 7 to or maybe 8 to 10. Longer if I need to, but 8 to 10 for sure. Um, if things go good on the Saturdays, we'll start doing them during the week. It's your show to talk. We talk, we debate, um, we talk about everything. You know, we talk about it all. Everything, no subject is off limits, which it shouldn't be. On the Diddy trial, looks like that's going to be different than what we thought, also. But that's something to talk about on off the top on the weekend or during the week when we start doing them during the week, which we will probably start. All right. Our first day with our new sponsor, Doobie Energy Drink, Doobie.gg. All right. Podcast versus the world. You use that in your code, a 10% off discount. Okay. Good stuff. All right. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. Stay safe out there. Contact your senator. Contact your congressman. Tell them this ain't right. This ain't right. Let them know. If you don't let them know now, you better let them know on next year when it's time to vote. All right. My name is Cameron Lavington. This is Podcast versus the World.